Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Nightmare Mode run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Curious, which is a character I am curious about, because this character's struggle is maintaining enough damage to keep killing 2 loot aliens every wave. That can be pretty difficult on Nightmare Mode, where enemies have additional health, so you need more damage to kill them, and where there's a lot more stuff getting in your way, which might make it harder to kill the loot aliens. So we're going to play the Curious here and see how it is. There's basically 2 builds you can use for this character. You can, because you want 6 different weapons, so you can either start with knives and go for 6 different precise weapons, or you can start with something like javelins and go for 6 different primitive weapons. Javelin or rock are both fine starts. I'm going to start with javelin here, and we're going to go for the primitive weapon build. I think this is usually the strongest one. Just makes it a little bit easier to survive. Alright, now it's very important to hit the loot aliens as soon as they spawn. You need to kill both of them every wave. So we're going to manually target them down using manual aiming. I did give up a few enemy kills, but so important to get the 2 bonus items that you just have to do that. Now, Weird Ghost here is actually a little bit unfortunate because on Nightmare Mode, it's going to be hard to chase down the loot aliens and not take a hit. So I think on level 2, I'm actually going to just ban Weird Ghost. I would love to take it and get the extra XP gain and the extra health, but we would rather just find additional good items that, or if I take the Weird Ghost, then I'm very likely to have to give up some loot alien kills, which you don't want to do. So I'm going to just ban it so I can find other good level 1 items that we need more. Loot Worm is nice. It's a unique item. Picking up materials can be difficult. And then here, while harvesting is pretty good for the Curious, you don't have a harvesting penalty or anything. You do need as much damage as possible so that you can kill loot aliens. I think, so if there was like a 2 melee damage upgrade here, I would take that, but I will take harvesting because it's not up against anything important. I'll buy the rock here. I'm going to leave these 2 in the pool, and then I'm going to roll again. A rat is not a terrible pickup. It can help us, again, kill loot aliens as well. Jelly, I'm going to lock. This is going to be plus 6 HP, but we obviously won't buy it until we have gotten a bunch of weapons. And then we're going to roll here. We're going to keep buying different primitive weapons as much as possible, and I'll roll again. And I will... Torch is not great for us. We won't have a lot of elemental damage in this build, but I will probably take it, and I'll lock the Sharp Tooth just so we can buy a 6th weapon, though we will probably try to replace it. I'm not going to lock Lemonade. There are other weapons that are going to be, or other items that are going to be more important for us. And again, we're basically just killing stuff until the loot aliens spawn, and then we're going all in on taking those out. Make sure that we get the extra items every single wave. Every time you kill one, future spawns get stronger. So you need to make sure that your damage is staying ahead of the enemy's health in order to be able to kill 2 every single wave. I'll take the Toxic Sludge as the Curious. Every unique item gives you extra XP gain, so you want to take basically any item that you don't have a copy of yet, and we'll take the Baby Elephant here as well. Then I'm going to re-roll, and I'm looking for melee damage. Attack speed is also pretty interesting, and I guess I'll take it just to make sure that I can keep buying more items and leveled up weapons and everything in the shop. And then I'm going to roll again here, and we'll take 2 melee damage because, again, I really need to boost my damage output on this character. We'll leave the jelly locked, and I'm going to roll to try to level up my weapons a bit because that's one of the easiest ways we can boost our damage again. And I'll lock Lumberjack Shirt. I think that is worth locking, and then we'll roll here. I'll lock the stick, and we'll replace our low-level stick with a higher-level stick. Stick is another one of the primitive weapons that we don't love. It's not a high priority weapon for us, but this way we can at least upgrade our weapon because we can only have 1, so it's not going to do as much damage. But this way we can at least upgrade our weapon, and then I can buy the jelly as well. Free up an item slot. So I've picked up 2 melee damage already, but that isn't necessarily going to be enough to kill every loot alien this wave. So I need to, again, focus really aggressively on making sure that I'm following them around and hitting them every single time. We'll take a tree here, and we already have a toxic sludge, so I'm just going to ban it. Bans are really nice for the curious, because you can ban the items that you already have copies of in order to avoid taking a second copy. 6 dodge, we will pass on. We need more damage output at this point. You just need as much damage as possible for this character. So yeah, I'm going to take 2 melee damage over it, and we'll take 10% attack speed, even over 2 armor, because the overriding imperative for the curious is making sure that you have the damage to kill the loot aliens every turn, or every wave. We'll pick up the stick here, and then I will buy this whole shop. We'll do a reroll. I will lock a javelin upgrade, that's great, and then we'll lock these 2 items as well, 2 solid items that I don't have one of yet. Definitely would like to get a little bit of luck. Luck is very good for this character as well, because it makes the items that drop from the loot aliens higher level. So you get more value out of the free item crates that you're getting. I don't mind getting Curse on the Curious, but it's not a high priority. We're gonna, again, focus the loot aliens before I focus the Curse aliens, though I will kill some Curse aliens, because then if we get cursed items out of boxes, so much the better. It does hurt my torch a little bit, but we'll take the butterfly, and of course we'll take fertilizer here, and then again, I'm going to take 10% attack speed. I could take harvesting there, but making sure that I have high enough attack speed to kill the loot aliens remains our highest priority. Triangle of Power, I think, is unfortunately not going to be usable for this character at this point. 20% damage is a lot, and I'd be very happy to grab it, but we are very likely to take a lot of hits, because our movement is always going to be prioritizing running straight at the loot aliens, so you're going to take damage when you do that. I'm just going to ban it here for the free reroll. You typically want to use your bans on... you typically want to use your bans on items that you already have copies of when you're playing the Curious, but a ban like that is still fine because we get a reroll out of it. We'll take the plant. I'm not going to lock either of these items. Yes, we don't have copies of them, but we're not highly prioritizing them. I think I will take a Vorpal Sword. We can replace one of our bad primitive weapons with it. It'll cost me a little bit of health, but it's a very efficient weapon. It does good damage, and obviously has the chance of killing the loot aliens, even if they're really strong. I'll take charcoal because I need more melee damage, and we'll lock a rock to upgrade it. And given that I'm buying the rest of these items, Snake I think is worth banning, even though we don't have a copy of it yet. Because buying Snake just for 2% XP gain is just not particularly valuable. I know many people really dislike this character, but it's one of my favorites. I mean, I just like getting free stuff out of boxes. It's just fun to see what you get every wave. So that's the first kill. This is a healer wave as well, so I need to really burn down these loot aliens before that happens. Because once they start getting healed, it's going to be really hard to kill them. And it actually managed to get healed like multiple times. So I don't think we're going to be able to finish it off. Yeah. Because the healers heal for 100 health, which means that if they tick, you are down basically like 5 seconds of attacking at this point in the game. I'll take the hedgehog here. That's great. And then I'm going to reroll, and I will reroll again. I feel like I can get a higher level upgrade. I missed, but I'll take an armor. We currently have none, and it's going to make it a lot easier to run at enemies if I have decent armor. And then I will take 5 harvesting. Harvesting isn't as important for this character, but when you can get to 22, it can be helpful. Charcoal I don't have a copy of yet. We'll take a rock, and then we'll buy a Vorpal Sword. And do I want to sell Sharp Tooth or Forge? I guess Sharp Tooth is worse. And we'll buy the Vorpal Sword. We'll ban the snake. Get our reroll here. I'll ban Baby Elephant. And then reroll again. And Quarterstaff, that's a good find. Mastery is an amazing find. We'll lock a Javelin. I could go for a second Javelin. It would be minus 10% damage. So I could take the second Javelin and eat the minus 10% damage penalty in the hopes of finding another level 1 Javelin to upgrade this to level 3. Or I could wait until we find a level 2 or 3 Javelin. I think I'd rather just wait. So we'll ban Cake, since it's a second copy of an item we already have, and then we'll go to wave 6. Alright, nice. Getting a crate out of the tree is really good. Of course, this character's economy is entirely based on crate, so the more of those you drop, the better. Haven't seen our loot alien spawn yet. You are always a little scared when they don't show up until later in the wave, because it makes it much harder to make sure that you kill both of them if they don't show up early enough. And then with only 8 seconds left, I think we are going to have a really hard time killing this other one. I'm hoping for a Vorpal Sword pick, and we did get it even without that, and so that's really good. We'll take the Boxing Glove, we'll take the Coupon, we'll take Penguin. Here I'll take 15 luck. That's going to give me additional levels on the items that we're dropping from this. And then let's sell our Torch and buy a Quarterstaff. That's going to be extremely helpful. We'll pick up Mastery, and we'll pick up Propeller Hat, and then reroll. Hatchet is probably better than the Stick, and it's level 3, so we'll take the Hatchet as well. Claw Tree I'll take. Do I want Metal Detector? I think I'm going to pass on the Metal Detector. Blunderbuss is actually interesting, so I haven't been building any ranged damage at all, but it does do really good single target damage. I think we'll steer clear of the Blunderbuss here, because I would need to build ranged damage to support it, but it is somewhat interesting for this character because it can make it much easier to kill high health single targets like the loot aliens. Alright, this one spawning at the beginning of the wave is very helpful. It's going to give us a lot more time to make sure we kill both of them. I'm also regretting not locking that lemonade that we found early, because, of course, consumable healing is really important to this character. I was focused on getting damage, but it's very possible that I needed to lock the lemonade. We got a third loot alien spawn. Now this, again, is a healer wave, which is going to make it harder to actually finish it off, because it just got another heal. But can we get it? Nice. I did get all of them. And this is why the primitive weapon tag is so good for us. I'm just taking constant damage, but it's okay. I'll take the Lost Duck here for sure. And then Pencil I'll grab because it's 2% XP gain. Defective Steroids is great. Exactly the type of thing we're looking for. HP and damage output. Here I'm going to roll for armor or attack speed, I think, because I really need to boost my damage against the enemies, but I also need to not be just dying when I walk into them. I could also take percent damage. We currently have -3. But I think we can do better. I think attack speed is still more impactful. Here I will start building dodge, because we got a 9% dodge upgrade up against nothing much. Also, attack speed is worth buying because I have the hatchet locked in the shop, which scales its damage based on attack speed. Here, 5% crit chance for 107 isn't great. I could just use my ban in order to get a free reroll, and I think I will. And then I'll roll here. I don't want a second penguin. I'm going to roll again. That's not a hatchet upgrade, so let's buy Baby Gecko. I'll pass on the book for now. It just doesn't do enough for us. But we'll definitely take Scar. We'll take Tentacle. And I'm going to roll one more time and buy a Corrupted Shard, which fixes my damage output a little bit. Feather, I think I am building dodge, so I'll buy one Feather here. And obviously, losing 1% XP gain, not that big a deal. The fact that we killed 3 loot aliens last wave is going to make the one this wave especially tough. So, we're hoping for one-shots, which we did get one. run after this guy, and again, focus on DPSing it down, basically to the exclusion of everything else. There's a decent chance we get a third loot alien spawn again with 5 seconds remaining, because we got our first 2 really early. If that does happen, I probably will not have the damage to kill it, so I'm just going to focus on surviving here. I'll take a turret, 2% more XP gain, we'll take some HP, and Saltwater's really nice, actually. The melee damage and attack speed are both very relevant, and it's going to help me catch up to the loot aliens, which matters a lot as well. Do I want 7 crit chance? There's no guarantee that I get another level 3 upgrade here, so I think I will just take the 7 crit chance. And then here, I'm definitely taking 4 armor. Going up to 7 armor helps so much. We'll buy Scar, we'll buy Tentacle, we'll buy Feather, and Celery Tea increasing the enemy health next wave is scary. It probably means I don't get at least one of the loot alien kills. Now, the Curious does have 25% increased enemy health already, so it's a lower impact than it would be for a normal character, but the XP gain is also less valuable because we have so much, so I think I'm going to pass on that. Here, I'm going to upgrade my quarterstaff, and then I'm going to roll again, and Baby Squid I'll definitely take. The rest of these items I'm not that excited by, so we'll just re-roll here, and we'll go to wave 9. Haven't found a bag, which is, of course, the #1 item that you want for this character. No bag, no treasure map, no pearl. One thing about the Curious is that it starts off, of course, really, really strong because you get all these free items, but it's sort of offset by the fact that your shop gets significantly worse over the course of the game because you keep finding duplicate items that you can't buy. And because of the way that my bans worked out this game, where I ended up banning a bunch of items that like weren't duplicates, it's actually going to be even worse for us. Okay, the loot alien is still alive. Where did it go? Maybe I did kill it. I actually didn't see. Alright, it looks like I killed it, but I just didn't have enough health to run around looking for it. But we'll take the Dock Moth, we'll take Metal, that's great, and we'll buy Coffee, that's perfect. I'm going to take 4% lifesteal. I am running out of healing currently, so I do want more healing. And then I need 6 melee damage, I think. I would love the attack speed, I would love the dodge as well, but the melee damage is going to matter more than either of those two things. I really need to be killing loot aliens as they spawn. Wandering Bot can potentially keep them kind of slowed and stunned-ish and near me so that we can DPS them down a little better. So I'll pick up a Wandering Bot here, and I'll roll. We'll take a Pearl. That's awesome. We'll take Frozen Heart. I don't actually like Blood Donation very much on this character because you need to be high health all the time so that you can keep chasing down and killing the loot aliens. So I'm going to pass on Blood Donation. I'm going to roll here, though, and I'll take Rip and Tear. And do I want Campfire? It gives me 0.02 damage with the Frozen Heart and 2 regen, which I need quite a bit. It's also a unique item. I think I'm not going to lock it. On the Curious, you end up buying items that are worse than what you would buy on normal characters, just because your shop is worse. And so a lot of the time, any item that you can buy that has any effect is worth picking up. So something like that is still worth considering. Even if on a normal character in this spot, you would not ever buy the Campfire. Alright, where's our second loot alien? Alright, we really need the second one to spawn. I think it's... Oh, there it is. Okay. The Wandering Bot keeping it next to me actually meant that I killed it there, and I wouldn't have otherwise, so the Wandering Bot actually was pretty good here. Pumpkin is basically 2% XP for... Well, no, it works with my javelin, so I will take the pumpkin. We'll take garden, we'll take bonk dog, and I'm going to recycle the scope. 25 range, we don't use the range damage, and 25 range is definitely not worth losing 7 attack speed. Here, I'll take 10 luck, and then I'm going to reroll this, and we'll take 10% more attack speed, and then I'll take 7% more crit chance, so I can potentially kill the enemies a little faster. Take a pearl here, and we'll buy Frozen Heart, and I am taking the Rip and Tear. Eye Patch, I think we'll pass on, it's too inefficient. Do I want Stone Skin? I think I will take a Metal Detector now. It does decrease my damage output, but Metal Detector can still be pretty good. Stone Skin, minus 6% attack speed. I currently have 59 HP. I think we can take the Stone Skin. If I'm taking that, do I want the Alien Eyes as well? Probably. And then I'm going to do 2 rerolls here. Do I want to replace any of my weapons with Cacti Club? I think not. I think all of these are going to be better than the Cacti Club at the equivalent level. If it was a level 2 weapon, I might replace... Or a level 3 weapon, I might replace one of my level 2s with it. Probably just the Vorpal Sword, which, while it can one-shot things, it's a very low chance, so it's not, you know, the most important item for us. Our very poor consumable healing is definitely putting a lot of pressure on me, so I would love to find Jerky, I would love to find, lemonade or weird food. Because I reduced my consumable healing by buying an alien worm, which I think was right, because it is an item that we don't have. And I expected to find consumable healing, but unfortunately that has meant that we have had a harder time healing, and so I had to give up a loot alien kill that wave. I will take a tractor. Minus 8% damage is painful, but it's a lot of harvesting. And we'll take a Terrified Onion, we'll recycle Propeller Hat, we'll take a Bean Teacher. Here I'm going to reroll and reroll again. And I'll take 9 Dodge, because once I can actually build Dodge pretty highly on this character. And then I'll take 3 more Armor. That'll let me run at those enemies a little more easily. We'll pick up the Stone Skin and the Alien Eyes. Mutation doesn't really do anything, so I'm going to pass on that. I have okay Purse, but Anchor is still not great. We'll buy Blindfold for sure. I don't have a gambling token yet, so I will take one of those going up to 32 Dodge, which is the point where Dodge starts getting pretty good. And then we'll buy more Dodge, more Luck, and a Gentle Alien as well. So my level ups, I really need to focus on damage output at this point. I need to just like take a melee damage upgrade. Because my damage is starting to fall a little bit behind. Gonna try to kill this big hatcher, because if too many of the enhanced slashers spawn, it's gonna make it really hard to run down the loot aliens whenever they show up. So we're gonna focus on killing the hatcher before the loot alien appears. And then I'm gonna clear that out and go after this other loot alien. And then there's a third one as well. That's kind of nice. Hopefully we have the damage to kill it before the end of the wave here. And I'll get that Curse Alien kill as well. I would definitely like to pick up some good cursed items. Yeah, I'll take the small fish. We're doing enough attacks every time we fight a loot alien that the small fish will be increased damage. Now, Pearl here is minus 6% damage if I pick it up. But Pearl is kind of interesting for Curious. You get minus 10% damage for every duplicate item. But if you get 100 or more luck, which isn't that hard to do on this character, Pearls start to become positive. So I am going to take the Pearl here, even though it decreases my damage in the short term, because I have some luck locked in the shop, and we're going to prioritize getting luck as well. Okay, another free Pearl. We'll recycle this laser turret. I'll take 10% more attack speed, and then here I'm going to reroll and I'll take 10 more luck. That helps make my pearls better. We'll buy the clover, we'll buy Gentle Alien and Gambling Token, and then... So my pearls are currently net... well, the first one is +7 damage, and the other two are -3, which means that they're still currently damage positive, even though we only have 70 luck. And remember that the 2 extra pearls that we got were only for 1 material, so we didn't really lose anything by picking those up. Anchor, it is good damage, but I think I'm going to pass on it. I will very happily upgrade my spear. Spear is probably one of our best weapons. I could take the hammer, but I think I'm going to stick with this weapon loadout. Hammer has a lot of knockback, so it'll push the enemies away, which will make it harder to kill them. The cursed knife. So I could... it's cursed, which is, of course, great. I could recycle javelin. I want to keep the rock, because it's going to give me armor. Yeah, looking at the damage output, I think that the Vorpal Sword is actually the worst of our weapons, so I'm just going to take the Cursed Knife here. It's cursed, so it does massive criticals, and we already have some decent crit chance. And then we'll roll, immediately roll into another Vorpal Sword, but this is a bunch of items we can't buy. 1 fruit basket is fine, I will take that. Even though currently our consumable healing is negative. That probably will not stay true. We will eventually find a consumable healing item. Nice that the loot worm is going off to grab that tree and we don't have to intervene. And then we'll work on this next loot alien here. And there's another one over on the side, which we should have the damage to take out as well. So really a good wave for us where we killed all 3 loot aliens and weren't in that much danger. I'll take an injection for sure. We'll take Cyclops Worm. That fixes our % damage quite a bit. And then... do I want 4 regen, or do I want to roll for luck? I think I'll just take the 4 regen here. And then we'll take 3 armor. Regeneration Potion is a great find. That's going to be a lot of extra healing. We'll take a fruit basket as well. Then I will reroll. I currently have quite positive knockback, so I'll take the coil. That's going to be a lot of damage. Treasure Map is one of the items that you can buy multiple copies of on the Curious, and it's okay. It does cost you 10% damage, but 10% damage for this effect is still totally reasonable. So I am going to buy the treasure map, and then I'm going to reroll, and I'll take a snail. That'll make it a little easier to stick to the enemies. Same theory as the wandering bot. Now, this wave, I really wish that I had my my Vorpal Sword back, because we probably could have killed the elite with a one-shot. Taking a lot of damage here, so I'm going to back off a bit. And I'll go put some damage on the loot aliens, which I can do a little more safely than fighting the elite. And then I'll run back in and try to kill the elite again. Getting some dodges here, which is important. And then we got the kill, get our full heal. Unfortunately, this one got buffed, so I may not be able to kill it. But we actually managed to. Can we get this other one before it, too, gets buffed? No, come back. Oh, there's another one? All right, we're definitely not getting the 4th. But we did clear 3 of them and the boss, which is great. Finally got our bag. Wish we'd had this earlier. Of course, that's a huge bonus for the Curious when you're getting at minimum 2 crates every wave. We'll take a weird food. I'll definitely take 10 melee damage. White flag, I'm going to recycle. Fertilizer, we have one. Spicy sauce, we have one. Baby gecko, we have one. Here, I think I'm actually going to roll for luck. 20% attack speed is also very tempting, though. Or I could roll for 12 dodge, which is also really good. This being our level 25 upgrade gives me a lot of options. I should just take the attack speed, though. That's going to help me kill stuff so much more easily. We'll take the Cursed Coil. This is going to be a lot of additional damage. I will spend some of that damage on buying the second treasure map. Take a little muscly dude, and then I'll reroll. Cyclops Worm is +2 damage, which isn't worth spending 120 on, but can be worth it sometimes. Bone Dice, I'm actually pretty happy with, so I'll take that, because I need more percent damage. I'll lock the Bat, and I'll reroll one more time. Lock a Quarterstaff upgrade, that's great, and we'll go to wave 15. Now that I've found that weird food, and have just 2 more consumable heal, I think we're in great shape. The not locking the lemonade was a big mistake, actually. It does make a lot of lampreys, but we don't really have a problem with a bunch of lampreys on this character. I just need to focus on killing the loot aliens again. Though I should clear at least one of the hatchers, because it's putting a lot of health on the field, which is making it hard to focus damage on the enemies that I actually want to kill. But now that I've got a lot of healing, a lot of armor and dodge, we're in much better shape. I guess I'll take the lens. It's just 2% XP gain because the range damage doesn't matter, but we'll take it anyways. Sure, I'll take padding. And then here, I'm gonna re-roll this. I'm looking for more dodge, more armor, or more damage output, or more luck, but at least a level 2 upgrade. And we'll take 4 melee damage, that's fine. Here, I'll take 8% damage. Not exactly the upgrades that I wanted, but it's still okay. I'll take a Quarterstaff upgrade, and we'll take the Bat. Do I want a Cursed Plank? At this point, our Hatchet is pretty weak. It does do good damage, but it's very short range, so it's not actually hitting stuff. The Knife is doing very well. Cursed Plank is a lot of damage and can explode. The Javelin is doing surprisingly well still. I think I will sell out of Hatchet. This weapon is always, like, quite disappointing. And we'll buy the Cursed Plank here. Clover is actually maybe worth buying, because we have 3 pearls, so we get 6 of the 10 damage we're spending back. And 6% dodge matters a lot. So I think we actually will take the Clover. We'll take Helmet, we'll take Mouse, of course. Bottom Mine I don't think we really need. I'm going to re-roll that, but didn't roll into anything good. So we're buying a duplicate Clover on purpose because we have pearls offsetting the downside of it. And because dodge just matters a lot, so even if we're spending 10% damage, once you've started building dodge, it becomes a really high priority to get to dodge cap, so you should focus on buying items that give you more dodge. I will say, one of the fun things about Nightmare Mode is dodge and range have had kind of a redemption arc. Range is still not like a high priority stat for most characters, but it's a little more interesting for some characters on Nightmare Mode, and specifically with railguns and for the wounded. And dodge, which is a stat that I think you usually are better off avoiding on Danger 5, is a little more interesting on Nightmare Mode, where you just need more defensive stats. Alright, I'll take this mouse, because then I don't have to buy the full price one. Nail, we have okay engineering. Adds a little damage to all my weapons, that's fine. And then here I'm going to take 3 more armor. Okay, well, so Nail works with all your engineering. It's not just permanent engineering. So when you buy Strange Book with Nail, it's actually going to increase your weapon damage by quite a bit. So I'll do that. I'll buy the Clover, and we're going to lose 4% damage, which is fine. Is it worth losing 10% damage for Mouse? 5% lifesteal is worth a lot. I think it actually is, so we'll buy a duplicate Mouse here. And then I'm going to roll again. I will upgrade to a level 4 spear. And Dangerous Bunny probably will not pay for itself before the end of this run. So I'm going to pass it on it. This wave, I have enough damage that I'm just focused on killing the elite because that'll let me maneuver more freely to clear out the Stargazer towers and, of course, to focus on the 2 loot aliens whenever they happen to spawn, which they haven't yet. It's very rude of them. There's one. I'm not that concerned about the blobfish, but I do need to make sure I'm not dying to this cursed upgraded mini-boss. Alright, so I let too many of those spawn, and that meant that I wasn't able to chase down the last loot alien. Gobbler's Hat, losing 10% dodge and 15 speed, I actually think that we have to recycle the Gobbler's Hat here. I do love this item. It's a lot of materials. If we'd gotten it earlier, I'd have taken it, but we just won't have time for to overcome the huge penalties of this item, and we're really trying to build dodge, so we're just going to recycle it. I'll take the bowler hat, though. This gives me 15 luck, which, again, works with our pearls. I'll recycle Sharp Bullet. I'll take the insanity. I'll take the fin, even though it hurts those pearls, but we do actually want more movement speed, and then we're going to roll again, and I'll take more attack speed, and then here, luck would be really nice, but we're going to take 12 dodge, because going up to 54% dodge is great. I'm going to upgrade my spear here, and we'll buy a mouse. Yes, it costs me damage, but the lifesteal is really important. And then we'll roll again. Very happy to take this ritual. And nothing else here that I want. I don't want to lose armor to the Gummy Berserker. So one more good luck boost would make the pearls pretty strong. So I'm definitely interested in that, though we won't prioritize it incredibly heavily over other things. I definitely want a little bit more dodge, so we can hit dodge cap. I want as much armor as I can get, and more regen would still be good. We do have a lot of regeneration because we found a relatively early baby squid, and had, and of course we're playing the Curious, so we get a lot of levels. I didn't get that last loot alien kill, but that's okay. Leather Vest is perfect, gets me to dodge cap, and gives me more armor. We will, again, take another free pearl here. Estes Couch, I'm going to pass on. Ball and Chain, I'm going to pass on, and then I'm going to re-roll here. I'll just take 16% damage, that's great. Here, I'll buy the Cauldron. If you get bag earlier on the Curious, it's almost always worth buying the second and third bag, because the amount of money that you get from this is ridiculous. So even if it costs you damage, it's still fine. This late, of course, is not worth picking up. Here, I'm going to re-roll again. Scarf is pretty scary on wave 19, but I think we can get away with it. And these are all stats we really want, so I will take that. Do I want the Vorpal Sword for the boss fight? I think I do. So I'll take that. I'll buy a Cursed Scared Sausage, mostly just because it's cursed, so it's decent. And then we'll roll a couple more times. I'll take an upgraded rock. It's only 2 more max HP, but we want to keep the rock anyways, because it gives armor. So increasing the damage output is a little bit is fine. And we'll be replacing our Javelin, because we never got it past level 2. Alright, so this wave is going to be challenging because we have increased enemy speed, and it's a darkness wave. I probably should have looked at whether it was a darkness wave before taking the Scarf. I think we'll be fine no matter what, but I might have considered not taking it on a darkness wave, just because it's going to be hard to deal with the really fast enemies coming at me currently. All right, we've got one loot alien kill as well, and I think I might have killed the other without seeing it. If you're ever playing the Curious and you kill loot aliens without seeing them die, that's when you know things are going well, because they have so much health. A second weird food is worth considering taking, even though it's a duplicate, but I think here we won't take it. Obviously, the fairy would have been amazing earlier, but it's still incredible now. Going up to 68 regen is going to make it a lot easier to fight the bosses. I'll take 20% attack speed, and then here I'm going to reroll. Sure, I'll take 10 luck. It's worth 4% damage as well. And then we're going to recycle, and we'll buy the rock. We'll recycle the javelin and buy the Vorpal sword. I'm going to reroll here, reroll again. Just keep rolling. I'm just looking for slightly more powerful items. Gummy Berserker, I still don't want. Level 2 sword, I don't want. Shady Potion is actually damage positive, so I guess I'll just take that. It's not incredible, because we only ended up with 4 pearls, which is not the point where you really start wanting to get maxed on pearls for the Curious, but it is still a decent amount of additional damage. And at this point, we're not that likely to find too many more relevant items. Though the banner's pretty good. It does cost me some damage from my first coil. We lose some percent damage there because I'm reducing my knockback. But the attack speed matters more. And then let's go to the boss wave. So I want to get in range to where the Vorpal sword can hit him. Because, of course, if we do one-shot it, then that would be great. And we did. And can we get the other one? Come on, Vorpal sword. You can do it. I've given it so many chances. I think that was just normal damage and not the one shot, but we got there. All right, so the Curious wasn't so bad on Nightmare mode. We didn't even get particularly good items early. Like, if you look at our item pickups, the first row of items is just not that powerful. We get like a fertilizer and a tree. Those are good items, but overall this is mostly relatively weak. That being said, we ended up with a very, very strong build at the end. We had 19 regen from the baby squid, 236 materials saved from our spyglass. Baby elephant dealt a pathetic 21k damage. Coupon saved us 300, also not that amazing. The tentacle, really good healing on the tentacle. Only 7 items from treasure maps on the Curious is pretty weak for 2 treasure maps as well. So a little bit of poor luck there also, I think. Our Bonk Dog did great, over 50k damage. Our Rip and Tear did 35k. Rip and Tear, also another item that's a little better on Nightmare mode just because there's more enemies. So you're more likely for the explosions to actually hit something. And then our bag for only 240. Yeah, our items that give us stuff when we drop crates performed pretty badly this run, which is kind of funny for this character. We ended up with plus 10 damage on our coil, 5 for 1 on the bone dice, so it wasn't great. We just bought 5% damage with it, basically. But it was fine, and nothing else majorly of note. Alright, my friends, hope you've enjoyed that look at the Curious on Nightmare mode. As always, of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit the like button. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.